Marcus Aurelius. Once the most powerful man in history, tried to live like a good man by adopting Stoic concepts. Unlike many Roman emperors, he avoided the multiple pleasures that were available to him. You can think of unrestricted alcohol consumption or watching people fight as a sport at the Colosseum. Marcus Aurelius was really motivated to complete the duty assigned to him by fortune, which was to serve humanity. As a result, he was profoundly committed to carrying out his life mission. But in order to do so, he needed to care less about things that are neither worthwhile nor appropriate to care about. And at that time, there were quite a lot of them. One of the core ideas of Stoicism, as explained in Epictetus's Enchiridion, is the division between things that are under our control and those outside our control. Most, if not all, things out of our control, we have no influence over. Does this imply that we should abandon the world? No, not always. According to the Stoics, if we do not accept the reality that we have little control over these matters, we put excessive pressure on ourselves. When life hurts and is uncomfortable, it frequently implies that we have no control over things that we care about. As a result, we then let others control us like little puppets. What happens next is that we then accuse those who control us of manipulating our actions, when in fact we are the ones who give them the power to do so. However, if we stop thinking about them and thus let go of our emotional attachment, they will have no influence on us, and we will have more peace of mind. Being unconcerned with situations outside his control helped Marcus Aurelius deal with the numerous duties and difficulties he encountered as emperor, and it let him concentrate on the mission he thought the gods had assigned to him. For Epictetus, it represented liberation. Others may find it easier to concentrate on important objectives by choosing not to be influenced by outside factors or a certain subset of them. Others could just see it as a path to a liberated, happy existence. What are the activities we should stop engaging in when life hurts? What are the next steps to take? This video explores Marcus Aurelius's ideas on how to stop caring about things that are not important, and it offers an open interpretation of them. When Marcus Aurelius wrote a series of autobiographical writings called Meditations, he made a lot of distinctions between the present, past, and future. The ancient Roman emperor had insightful things to say about how we either care too much, we care in the wrong way, or we care about the wrong things in each category. To give a good structured overview, this video will separate these categories into different parts. We start with the future. Seneca once said, "We often suffer more in our imagination than in reality," suggesting that the cause of our pain is the way we think. Our imagination frequently runs wild when thinking about the future, creating numerous possibilities of what possibly could happen, which are unlikely that they will. Prior to the event, we panic at the thought of not knowing how the future will ultimately play out, and so we consider all possible solutions to handle potential scenarios. Sometimes what really occurs matches our expectations. However, fortune frequently catches us off guard and overwhelms us with unforeseen developments. Let's elaborate on this with an example. For instance, we could have spent years planning for a well-earned retirement only to discover, just days before the start of our golden years, that we were diagnosed with a fatal illness with only a few more months to live. Many people worry constantly when such occurrences are a possibility. The greatest might happen, but so could the worst. What would happen if the Third World War started? What if I spend all our money? Such unfavorable results are quite likely to occur. However, since these occurrences aren't actually occurring right now, at least not yet, we are unable to deal with them until they do. Instead, they merely exist in our minds. The future does not exist outside of our minds. It only causes us anxiety when we think about it. According to Marcus Aurelius, the only pressure that weighs upon us is from the here and now, and not from the weight of the future. The way we handle things is in the here and now, not the future. That is what damages us. The suffering of the future actually occurs right now. Ironically, it is already here when we confront it, so it is not the future acting out in the present. In other words, our anxiety about today's circumstances is the anguish of the future. When we let events in the future control our present, we ultimately start to suffer in real life. Why? We allow them to determine our past and present. Let us circle back to Stoicism. What does Marcus Aurelius have to say about worrying excessively about the future? Let's first think about the following quotation. "Never let the future bother you. If necessary, you will combat the future using the same tools of reason that you use to defend yourself from the present." So he emphasized that if he could handle the present, he could handle the future as well. He reminded himself to focus on the current circumstances rather than envisioning all the terrible things that may occur. He discovered he could handle it when he concentrated on the things that were happening in the here and now. So then, why would he not be able to bear what is yet to come if that were the case? This mindset is similar to the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate, but it is strengthened by the confidence that we can survive it. The past. Aurelius reminded himself of how brief life is and how it vanishes into the unfathomable beyond our reach. We are unable to function in either the past or the future. Without creating a time machine, there is nothing we can do to change what has already happened. Marcus Aurelius stated, "Remember that everyone only lives in the now, in this transitory moment. The rest of their existence is either past and gone or has not yet been disclosed. Therefore, a man's life is brief, and the area of the world where he lives is small." What Aurelius means by that is that we are frequently excessively preoccupied with these areas that lie outside of it and cannot be entered, despite the narrowness of our existence, which only exists in the current moment, the future, and the past. Marcus Aurelius once said that, "The past signifies as much as nothing and is at present indifferent." It's not that previous happenings do not have an impact on the present, or that we cannot draw lessons from them. It is just because the past is out of our control, so it prevents us from dealing with it. Additionally, our memories of the past are sometimes jumbled, making it difficult to confirm the specifics of what occurred. We rely on memories from individual viewpoints and various perspectives of ourselves or others. Therefore, the past is not only unreachable but also possibly wrong in our memories. But despite this, we continue to care about the past, frequently replaying the painful experiences in our minds. Some people think we can influence the past in some way by reflecting on it, but that is a myth. The past is gone by. We just make an effort to regulate our thoughts about things that have already been swept away and will never return. Many individuals have regret. "I wish I could have done this differently." But they have unrealistic expectations. These ideas are useless because they arouse cravings we will never be able to satisfy. Marcus Aurelius concentrated on his response to the previous events rather than the past events themselves. Past events are beyond our control. Most likely, we also weren't able to stop things from happening in the present. However, we have some influence over how we approach these situations. We can first think of the past as unfortunate. We could have gone through traumatic childhoods, unsuccessful economic endeavors, or the breakup of friendships. Marcus Aurelius, however, believed that the nature of these occurrences did not really matter. What mattered was how we handled them. "It's undesirable that this has happened," he said. "No, it's fortuitous that this has occurred and that I haven't been hurt by it, broken by the present or terrified of the future. It could have happened to anyone. However, not everyone would have been protected from this damage. Why should one be viewed as a disaster and the other as fortunate? What qualifies as a hardship if it doesn't go against human nature? Do you believe that nature's will may be violated by anything that is not against it, but you are aware of its agenda? Are you prevented from acting with fairness, kindness, discipline, sanity, prudence, honesty, modesty, simplicity, and all the other traits that allow a person's nature to fulfill itself because of what has happened?" It's interesting to note that Marcus does not completely reject the importance of the past. He thought that by observing the patterns of the past, how things come and go and repeat, we might learn from it and extrapolate lessons for the future. The present. Marcus Aurelius often says that the present moment is all we have and that it is the only space we have. We may gaze into the unending void of the past and the unseeable gloom of the future from where we are now. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to focus on the present moment, which was under his control. But even when we let go of the past and reduce our concerns for the future, we could still be preoccupied with things that aren't important, like what is occurring right now. The way life unfolds in the present frequently leaves us unsatisfied, and we frequently become upset, unhappy, or depressed when things do not go as planned. Marcus Aurelius, however, believed that it was unnecessary for us to let our destiny emotionally bother us because it was not worth it. We cannot control how the world around us develops. What we can control is how we respond to it. But when something that we do not like takes place or what we want does not happen, we often become upset. According to Marcus Aurelius, we should not resist what we are required to do. He compared those who fight with fortune to pigs that squeal and kick when they are sacrificed, saying that it is useless to try to stop what the gods have in store for us. We have no control over human nature, including people's desire to start wars, the happenings of natural disasters, or the natural aging process of our bodies. In the same manner, we cannot compel the world to fulfill our desires. We cannot be certain that the people we are attracted to are equally drawn to us, or that everyone has an equal chance at success in life. It's simply not feasible. However, we devote a great deal of time and effort to fighting against what already exists and cannot be changed by any methods at our disposal. We suffer in the present moment at the whims of destiny because we are so furious that we don't have what we desire, and we are sad because we have experienced what we do not like. Or, alternatively, we hold on to the present moment because we are so charmed by it. Again, we let destiny rule us out of fear of losing what we have. We are frequently unable to recognize what is actually within our control, namely our decisions, actions, and views, due to our complete involvement in everything that is temporary and uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius believed that the rule of nature is our master, and that if we try to rebel against it or feel upset or angry about it, we are only deserters and fugitives. Rather than wasting our time dissatisfied with or holding on to our circumstances, we must accept the ways of nature, embrace them, and concentrate on coping with them. In his book Meditations, Marcus argued that we should focus on what we have rather than what we need, and that is the best approach to embracing the present. He quoted, "Treat what you don't have as non-existent. Look at what you have, the things you value most, and think of how much you would cherish them if you did not have them. But take caution. Do not feel such satisfaction that you start to overvalue them, that it would upset you to lose them. However, accepting one's situation can be challenging, particularly when we experience severe adversity and life consistently hands us lemons. Some might think, why do we not simply take a break?" Marcus Aurelius, however, believed that hardship should not be used as an excuse for acting out or to complain. He believes that it is a chance to practice virtue or to put the Stoic philosophy into practice in one's life. The main purpose of our lives does not revolve around our external circumstances because they are erratic, fragile, changeable, and not in our control. According to the Stoics, what truly matters is how we respond to the situations we encounter. As Marcus Aurelius stated, because in my opinion the present offers a chance to practice rational virtue, or to put it another way, the art that humans share with gods. Both view whatever occurs as entirely natural. It is not unfamiliar or difficult to cope with. Rather, it is familiar and manageable. This was it for today. Thank you for listening, and we really hope you liked this video. If so, please subscribe to this channel, because we can help you on your journey to a more motivational mindset. Let me know in the comments if you watched until the end by commenting MMM, Master Motivational Mindset, so we can connect.